So Wes, we're at it again. Another bizarre show.
Sure. Let's do it.
Yes. And this time you asked me if there was a movie that I wanted to discuss, and I was super excited that you did because I'd been wanting to discuss RoboCop.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, the least I could do after you let me pick a couple movies in a row, it was high time for you to pick one, and I had never seen it. Please let me hear your history with this movie, because I know that people that are our age have big histories with this movie. I'll tell you mine later, but what is yours, sir?
Well, I'm one of those people. I have a big history with this movie.
I've only imagined so.
Yeah, no. I saw this movie so many times when I was a kid, way too young to be watching it, but that didn't stop me. I saw this movie numerous times. Oddly enough, when I was a kid, I was a bigger fan of the second one, and it wasn't until I got older that I became a bigger fan of this one. And then I was a huge fan of the cartoon that came out, because in the 80s, they made children's cartoons based on violent 80s movies.
That was a thing in toys.
It was, yeah. I had the toys from the cartoon, and then my favorite figure was the giant RoboCop from RoboCop 3. So yeah, even as a kid, this was a favorite of mine, and as an adult, RoboCop, I'll say it right now, this is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Yeah, I'm grading it right off the bat, man. So I'm giving it away.
Yeah, and it was also an NES game.
It was, which I had. I had the second one. Yeah,
I didn't have it. My cousin had the first one, and we played it a lot, and I was allowed to play it, but I wasn't allowed to watch it yet. My older cousin, he was in junior high. I was way too young. I was in elementary school. This was the one movie that when he was over, he was allowed to watch and I wasn't. And I, for some reason, never was able to make up for it. I never saw it until just this week. And I did play the NES game, and I remember the toys that you speak of. I remember there was a cartoon. And by the way, that cousin went on to introduce a lot more things to me as far as movies and magazines and whatnot.
Pornography, sir?
Yes. He had me watch Dazed and Confused when I was like 9.
Okay.
And I fucking loved it.
Hell yeah.
But I did miss out on this one, and I never made up for it. At first, I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And then when I started watching it, I got kind of excited.
All right, man. Good. No, that's awesome.
I'm not going to bury any leads.
You save your opinion. I have too much excitement to save mine.
You're bursting at the seams.
I am. I was having so much fun while I was watching it, taking my notes. I was like,
Very good. I'm happy. That makes me happy.
Such a good movie. Yeah, no, it's a great movie, and it's definitely an 80s movie. It oozes the 80s. So.
It just like no other movie can really say that. A lot of movies can say that. This one just really just does it. Yeah. The only Paul Verhoeven movie or Verhoeven? I don't know how you say his name. Verhoeven. The only movie I'd ever seen of his until this week was Showgirls. And of course, everybody had to see that when you're from our era. You had to see Showgirls.
Full disclosure, I've never seen Showgirls.
It's a hot mess of a great movie. And I could see after watching this week why this guy is famous for making not bad movies. Some of them are. Showgirls is not good, but it's fucking crazy and it's fucking funny.
It is my great pleasure to present to you RoboCop.
So RoboCop is a 1987 American science fiction film directed by Paul Verhoeven and written by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner. The film stars Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Daniel O'Hurley, Ronny Cox, Kurtwood Smith, and Miguel Ferrer.
Oh, he does a great job.
Set in a crime-ridden Detroit, Michigan in the near future, RoboCop centers on police officer Alex Murphy, played by Weller, who was murdered by a gang of criminals and subsequently revived by the mega corporation Omni Consumer Products as the cyborg law enforcer RoboCop. This movie has been analyzed for themes including the nature of humanity, personal identity, corporate greed, and corruption, and is seen as a rebuke of the policies of Ronald Reagan.
No, just like People Under the Stairs. They're making fun of Reaganomics and the gentrifications of neighborhoods and stuff.
They are. RoboCop, against all odds and honestly anyone's expectations, was a great success. It earned $53.4 million against a $13.7 million budget.
That's a big win, baby.
Around 6 to 8 months were spent searching for an actor to play Alex Murphy. You want to know some of the names that were thrown around?
Can I guess one?
Go ahead.
Because Peter Weller, right? He's the one that plays him?
He is, yes.
I kept calling him not Eric Roberts. He and Eric Roberts have like similar cheekbones or something.
Yeah.
So I kept, first off, I don't know who Peter Weller is. I know that he's a famous actor. I don't know really anybody in this movie besides that 70s show. So I was thinking to myself, at first, I was like, is that Eric Roberts? It's not, obviously. And they don't even look that much alike. But I kept calling him in my head, that's not Eric Roberts.
Mm-hmm. Similar bone structure.
Was he up for it?
If he was, his name didn't appear in any of my research.
Okay, well, please do tell, sir.
Some of the actors up for the part of Alex Murphy were Arnold.
Steve Buscemi. We're going to go, I thought Danny DeVito. Oh, wait. Oh, you have the list. I was just coming up with people's names. Go ahead.
Arnold.
Arnold, of course.
Yeah. Michael Ironside.
Sure.
Rutger Hauer.
Okay, yeah, he's a big deal in the 80s.
Tom Berenger. Mm-hmm. Armand Asante.
Oh, okay, sure.
Keith Carradine. And
he's a little scrawny.
And James Remar were all considered. Cool. Orion, who produced the film, favored Schwarzenegger due to the recent success of The Terminator, but he and other actors were considered too physically imposing to be believable in the RoboCop costume.
They did a good job.
It was thought that Schwarzenegger would look like the Michelin Man or Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's not far from what could have happened.
It could have, very much so, yeah. Weller was the only person who wanted to be in the film. His casting was also favored because he commanded a low salary and had an existing fan base in the science fiction genre following his performance in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Okay.
You never heard of that, have you?
I've heard the term Buckaroo Banzai. I thought it was like some kind of movie with Jackie Chan.
No, Buckaroo Banzai has Christopher Lloyd, John Lithgow, and others. I've never seen it, but I know they're in it.
I can't wait not to watch it someday.
Ditto. Our movie opens in a dystopian near future. The city of Detroit. It's on the brink of societal and financial collapse. And the opening...
Wait, where did they get that idea from?
I have no idea.
There's no way that's any like truth to life.
Not at all. Detroit is thriving.
It's always been. And I think in the 80s was the real demise. Like, I know everything kind of fell through in the, 60s and 70s. All the car companies, all the jobs up there were starting to kind of go into shambles. And then in the 80s, I mean, you and I grew up near Detroit. I've seen a million concerts and a million baseball and football games there. And I've been to the casino a million times. That place has some really fucking weird parts of the city. And it's like, it's not hard to pick that city as like the city that could be like a dystopian future.
No, definitely not at all. No, like you said, you and I grew up near it. I've been there
dude.
Numerous times for numerous different events. Each time that I've been there, after the event was over, I could not wait to get out.
Get the fuck out. That's the thing, man. I watched an actual police officer in Detroit who was visibly drunk hit a person walking across a crosswalk in front of the State Theater when I was going to see Tool in 2001. And the cop came out and was apologizing to the guy, and the cop was visibly drunk.
After my buddies and I went to see Dream Theater, we stopped at a gas station on the way back.
Yeah, be careful.
And dude, there was prostitutes outside of the gas station.
Oh, dude, come on.
Some guy ran up to our car claiming that as part of his probation, he was doing community service work and he offered to pump our gas for us. Like,
yep.
And then he
for
wanted
free of
us...
charge, right?
No.
Oh,
Hell no.
I thought he was just being a nice guy.
No. As soon as he was done, he was like, so what do y'all got for money?
He shut you guys down for a couple bucks.
He did.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. Yeah, Detroit's insane. Yeah, everything that you're saying, I can picture it. So they could have used a RoboCop type in Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Real Detroit.
Yeah.
So these are just to the listeners at home, the watchers, the viewers, and the listeners. This is just Detroit is actually a fucked up place for real. It's not just like a stereotype. It's fucked up. So I can understand where the filmmakers and the writers were like, they could have chosen St. Louis or they could have chosen something. You know, they chose Detroit for a reason, man. They do things right in Detroit when they really want to make it look fucked up. It's not hard.
Right off the bat, the movie starts with media break, and that is where a lot of Paul Verhoeven's commentary on 80s society really shines. That and along with the commercials.
Nuke 'em. Get them before they get you. Another quality home game from Butler Brothers.
There was a lot of exposition. I loved it. It was really entertaining. The newscast and the commercials and stuff. It was great. It was very, very good.
And shout out to Lisa Gibbons.
Lisa
Gibbons?
Gibbons?
The newscasters, yeah.
Yeah, she's for Entertainment Tonight or whatever she was on. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
Overwhelmed by crime and dwindling resources, the city grants the mega corporation Omni Consumer Products, OCP, control over the Detroit police force. OCP senior president Dick Jones demonstrates the Ed 209, a law enforcement droid designed to supplement the police.
We'll need an arrest subject. Mr. Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Would you come up and give us a hand, please?
Yes, sir.
Use your gun in a threatening manner. Pointed at Ed 209.
Yes, sir.
Now, Ed 209 malfunctions and brutally kills an executive. allowing ambitious junior executive Bob Morton to introduce the chairman, or the old man, to his project,
The old man.
RoboCop.
Wait, are you down with OCP?
Y'all know me.
I think it's you know me.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was down with OCP. I thought it was a demonstration that was going to end up being a joke, because who would just, and by the way, the looks of that thing was hilarious. It looks awful, but it's funny. Like when it moves, it like looks like it's claymation almost.
It's a stop motion model, and
Okay, yeah, that's why. It looks like a Tool video.
yeah, it was a life-size thing that these guys made. I think it weighed.
It weighs 1 billion pounds. Yeah, it marches into the boardroom and they coax it into doing something, and it ends up shooting a guy. And I thought that the whole scene was going to end up being a demonstration, like the guy had like it was like a joke. It wasn't.
No.
And that set the stage for the whole movie. Like, okay, this wasn't a joke.
First of all, and this has always been my biggest question with that scene, why the fuck would you put live rounds inside that thing for a demonstration?
I wasn't even going to bring that up because it's so fucking asinine.
Yeah, why would you arm it?
It's correct. And therein lies the movie.
Yeah, it's so over the top, violent and gory, and I love it. The squibs are just boom, 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 just going off everywhere. Love it.
Verhoeven knows how to use a squib.
He really does, yeah. So that pretty much sets up that Ed 209 is nothing to be fucked with.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting it sort of mildly. Yeah, I wouldn't yeah. So that was the introduction to the movie for me. Was great exposition with the news and stuff in the commercials, and then this, and I'm like, okay, I wish I would have seen this when I was younger, because I liked it today, but I think I would have loved it back in the day.
Having never seen this movie, what were your expectations going in?
0.
Nothing? You had nothing in mind, or?
No, I thought it would be fucking stupid.
Okay.
I thought it would. I know that it has like a good following. People liked it. I remember playing the video game on NES. That was the one movie that my parents blocked me from watching, even though I'd seen other stuff.
Smart on their part, I'll say.
But they did a bad job because out of all the things that they stopped me from watching, this was the one that my cousin wasn't able to let me watch. But my cousin let me watch tons of other movies that were bad. This was actually entertaining. So I don't know, man. I wish I would have seen it when I was younger.
Meanwhile, Officer Alex Murphy is transferred to the Metro West Precinct. Alongside his new partner, Ann Lewis, Murphy pursues notorious criminal Clarence Boddicker and his gang, Emilio, Leon, Joe, and Steve. Now, they all have last names, and I'm looking at them here, but a couple of them I can't pronounce, so I'm not even going to try.
Nah, don't worry about it. Just sprinkle them in.
Yeah.
Or don't even sprinkle the last names in.
Nope.
Is that 70 shows there, right?
Yes, that is Clarence.
Yeah.
Kurtwood.
I've never seen him anything besides that, so I was very excited to see him in this movie. Yeah, I have a question for you, Shawn.
Go ahead.
Does Paul Verhoeven have a thing for mixed gender locker rooms?
I think so.
Because I had seen Starship Trooper, just that scene, because it's famous for having Gary Busey naked with Gary Busey's son naked with other female actors and Casper Van Dien. Now one of the first scenes is some girl with her boobies out in the locker room with men around.
A lot of man ass too.
Yeah, there's a lot of Harry Bob and man ass too. But it was a funny scene, and people's dialogue in this movie is perfect. So we get to see the dialogue between these police officers and all this stuff. It's funny, and it's not hilarious funny. It's entertaining. It's good.
Fuck it. We should strike. I don't want to hear any more talk about strike.
We're not fucking plumbers.
I don't know his name, but I love that guy. He's in all 3 movies. He stuck it out.
That's all we need to know.
So Alex and Lewis catch up with the gang members at their hideout in a giant warehouse. They go inside and Lewis gets knocked out because she can't help look at a man's dick.
Yeah, no good.
Nope.
Be more professional.
They ambush and torture Murphy until Boddicker shoots him in the head.
Okay, Funzo.
Now, I was going to ask you about this, Wes. How'd you feel about Murphy's death?
Not Eric Roberts dying. First off, I didn't know that he was going to end up being RoboCop. RoboCop to me was just that robot-looking thing from the 80s that I remember in the video game and stuff. It was all becoming clear after this scene. It was a good scene, and it was, once again, it was violent. It was funny. It was kind of funny. I liked it.
Very gruesome. Very gruesome.
Absolutely, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Morton has Murphy's corpse converted into RoboCop, turning him into a powerful and heavily armored cyborg with no memory of his former life.
Yeah, this is his answer to the big animatronic claymation thing, right? This is his answer to that, because that didn't work.
Right. So he thinks that incorporating the human brain and human instinct into the machine makes the perfect law enforcement officer.
Yep.
Which I would sort of agree with.
Absolutely. And this guy is this is a perfect option for what they're looking for when it becomes a thing.
Right. There's that scene where they're bringing him into the police station, and the one line that's always sounded weird to me is when they first walk into the little cage area, RoboCop's little apartment.
Yeah. Yep.
And the one scientist looks at him and says,
"When you're at rest, you will sit in the chair."
Yes, I understand.
it's like, well, no shit.
They're just trying to explain. They're trying to get the audience to understand that this guy is just going to be the perfect robotic police officer who knows what to do and knows who to listen to and is compliant with whatever. But yeah, it was funny. You're right. He understands the concept of sitting down and eating baby food.
It looks like poop.
It looks like a shit coming out of a soft serve ice cream machine. Mm-hmm. And the one guy says, "Oh, that tastes like baby food." And the guy from Traffic says, "Knock yourself out." So he keeps eating it. It's pretty funny.
I do love, though, all the little moments of like
the POV.
Yeah, I love that shit. It's great.
Dude, it was great.
It's great.
It was. I'm not going to say that this guy is a master filmmaker. He did a perfect job with this movie with all that stuff. It was great. It was absolutely outstanding, and I was very taken aback by it. Like, I wasn't excited to watch it, and then when I was watching it and I saw when RoboCop was being introduced and they were the POV shots of him watching all them and talking to him and the voice and all this stuff and the baby food and all that stupid shit. It was great, man. It's great. 1000%. I couldn't wait to see him get on the street on the beat.
RoboCop is programmed with 3 prime directives. Do you remember what they are?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just a fan.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
A 4th prime directive, Directive 4, that's classified.
G13 classified, of course.
RoboCop is assigned to Metro West and hailed by the media for his brutally efficient campaign against crime.
Yeah, isn't the first scene that the guy's robbing the liquor store?
The mom and pop liquor store, yeah.
Obviously, he walked in with his arm holding some kind of large gun, and the older lady was like, "Well, what can I do for you, sir?" He's like, "Fill up that bag with the money and open the safe." "We don't have a safe, sir." And then he knocks over all those Miller Lite cans.
All those empty beer cans?
Yeah, all the empty beer cans that were hiding the safe. Which, by the way, if you would have put money in that safe, you'd have take down all the Miller Lite cans and then put the money in the safe and then put all the Miller Lite cans back on top. And,
it's not a good security system.
And no, it's awful. It's typical Detroit. True to life. And so all of a sudden, RoboCop walks in, and the guy's like, "Oh, fuck me," and starts shooting at him with his fucking Tech 9 or whatever that was. He walks up to it and takes the nose of the gun and turns it down. Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah,
great,
very good. And the elderly couple are very pleased.
Mm-hmm. I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, by the way, I'd buy that for $1. That is a famous drop that they used on one of my favorite albums of all time, and I didn't know what it was from until last week.
Okay, what album?
Mr. Bungle's Mr. Bungle.
Okay.
There's a million drops. Most of them are from David Lynch movies, but there's The Girls of Porn is the song, and there's a part in the song, I think towards the end, that there's a drop of this guy saying, "I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
And it's a great song, and it's a great part of the song. And I used to quote that. And my buddy, his name's Garrett, he said, "Do you know what that's from?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it's from the album Mr. Bungle." He goes, "You know, that's a drop from a movie." And I said, "Let me guess, a David Lynch movie?" He goes, "No, it's from fucking RoboCop." And I never watched it until just this week. That's my favorite album of all time, one of them, Mr. Bungle's Mr. Bungle, 1990, 1991, maybe.
The catchphrase, "I'd buy that for $1," is a modernized reference to the short story The Marching Mormons by Cyril M. Kornbluth. In the short story, a radio host uses the catchphrase, "Would you buy that for $0.25?"
Yeah, so now we understand that this guy, he's compliant with what he's supposed to do. He's going to do a good job. Yeah.
He's just out there cleaning up the streets of Detroit.
Yeah.
It stops a rape in progress.
Yeah, he shoots right between your legs, right into the guy's dick.
Oof, I know, man. That's rough.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And then I think the third and final crime, he shows up at the mayor's office, right?
Okay, yeah. He shows up at the
mayor's office.
The mayor's office, yep.
He's holding the mayor and a bunch of his employees hostage.
Yeah, "I want a car." And I don't want one that has good gas mileage.
He wants his old job back in a car
Yeah.
with shit gas mileage.
And they kept giving him answers like, so you want to blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And I want the government to pay for it too. And all this stupid shit. And
That'd
all
be
of
an
a sudden-
awkward first day back at work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be weird. Yeah,
bit.
it was pretty stupid, but it
was
also,
fucking
it was great.
stupid.
It was great. RoboCop comes through the wall, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Lewis is starting to grow suspicious that RoboCop is indeed Alex Murphy, her old partner. And this comes
Wow.
from the unique way he holsters his gun, a trick that Murphy learned to impress his son.
Yeah, it's not hard to understand that that's who it was, right?
I don't know. During maintenance, RoboCop experiences a nightmare of Murphy's death. He leaves the station and encounters Lewis, who addresses him as Murphy.
Murphy, it's you.
Now,
It
while
starts to trigger his fake memory.
it starts,
His real memory.
yeah, that's sort of what gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, thanks a lot, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she gets reamed by.
Traffic.
He doesn't have a name. He has a program.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Right.
While on patrol, RoboCop arrests Emil, who recognizes Murphy's mannerisms. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Is this not Flea?
Not Flea.
Yeah, at the gas station.
Yep, at the gas station.
Hey, college boy, you reading that plane geometry book? I can shoot real good. I can shoot you in the eye from here. Go ahead and fill up number 4. And the guy was just like, no. And he holds up that book that says plane geometry. Yeah, college boy. By the way, the guy was like 50.
He was.
So he's going to Wayne State University in Detroit. That's the only college I can think of because Ann Arbor is about 45 minutes away. There's no way that he's going to Ann Arbor to go to U of M and then driving back to insane, crazy neighborhood in Detroit to work at a gas station for $2 an hour. And all right, college boy, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden RoboCop shows up and kind of half recognizes him. And he's like taken aback.
You're dead. We killed you.
Right? He has his gun drawn and all of a sudden things are going through his robot head.
RoboCop returns Emil to Metro West and uses the police database to identify his associates and Murphy's police record. RoboCop recalls further memories while exploring Murphy's former home, his family having moved away following his death.
Yep.
They had the weird robot real estate agent. It was
that was
strange.
weird. Although if I was selling houses in Detroit, that's how I would do it. I would have a videotape playing on a screen. I wouldn't go to the actual house. Although that was in a nice neighborhood. That was probably in like Farmington Hills. I don't know. What was the street called? Like Pleasant Drive or something like that. Or
Something like
Thinker
that.
Man. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Elsewhere, Jones gets Boddicker to murder Morton in revenge for Morton's attempting to usurp his position at OCP.
Is that when he's doing coke off the girl's chest? Mm-hmm. Yep, that's good. Yeah, that 70s show really knows how to get people's attention.
Then he plays the earliest version of a DVD.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was not prepared to talk about that part. Yes, you are correct. I wasn't even going to think about it. He was HD DVD, not Blu-ray, for sure.
As that 70s show pulls the pin on a grenade that has a timer on it.
Yep, and then traffic goes up in smoke.
RoboCop tracks down the Boddicker gang and a shootout occurs at a Coke factory.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, right?
The Tigers are on tonight. I never miss a game.
Never miss a game, dude. You ever been to a Tigers game?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they're fun. This was back when the Tigers played at a weird part of town, and it was not good. And the Tigers in the 80s were actually a good team. They were really good. I know that you're not a sports person.
No.
I'm telling you that back when this movie was made, Sparky Anderson was coaching the Tigers, and it was a big deal. Kurt Gibson was there. Alan Trammell was there. It was a big deal.
I don't know what any of that means.
The Tigers used to be a big deal in baseball.
Are they still?
No, they were good in the 2000s. They made a couple World Series. They lost to, I think, you don't give a shit, but they lost to St. Louis, the Cardinals. I don't think that they've won one since the 80s. So yeah, this would have been the big deal. And then after this movie came out, the Pistons became the big deal. They became good. But back when this movie was made, the Tigers were a very formidable team.
Okay.
So that's why he made a joke that I never miss a game. People in Detroit fucking loved the Tigers. It was a huge deal.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Is that when Wayne Gretzky kicked the field goal into the bottom 9th RBI?
How dare you, sir? I do this to you all the time.
I know.
So I fucking love it. So that was a part of the movie that they actually caught my attention. I'm like, yeah, the fucking tigers were like badass back in like the late 80s, mid to late 80s.
Yep, and then we get a pretty cool shootout, a bunch of coke flying everywhere. And then one of my favorite parts is when RoboCop finally catches up to Clarence and is just throwing him through window after window.
Yeah, there's multiple windows. I like that.
He brutally assaults Boddicker, who confesses to being in Jones's employ.
I work for Dick Jones! Dick Jones!
RoboCop attempts to kill Boddicker until his programming directs him to uphold the law. He attempts to arrest Jones at OCP Tower, and we finally discover what Directive 4 is. It's a fail-safe measure to neutralize RoboCop when acting against an OCP executive.
Yeah, you know me.
Jones admits his culpability in Morton's death and releases an Ed 209 to destroy RoboCop. And I have a note in here that says, Ed 209 did not age well.
No, it's awful. And the guy, he puts out his wrist, he goes, go ahead and arrest me. And then all of a sudden his big claymation guy comes out and starts fighting RoboCop.
He's shooting bullets at him, missiles, all kinds of things. And RoboCop is doing his best to fight him, but then he gets the bright idea to just run down the stairs, which Ed 209 cannot do.
Yeah, and when he turns over on the stairwell, he's like, he sounds like a baby tiger.
He is crying like a baby. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I've never understood that part either, so don't feel bad.
Once again, all the parts that are with this stop animation bigger version of RoboCop thing is, I think, fucking stupid and fucking awesome and hilarious.
Now listen, I have a great appreciation for stop motion animation because a lot of the fantasy and sci-fi movies that I grew up watching, they all had that.
Yeah, sure. It was a big deal, man.
Yeah, like Jason and the Argonauts and things like that.
The movie Q with the birds.
Yeah, Ghostbusters had some stop motion animation in it.
And you know the band that uses stop motion in every single fucking video, Tool. All their videos feature none of the band, and it's all stop animation, and it's all kind of disturbing and weird shit. And in my older age, not the greatest.
Some's good, some's bad. I would say Ed 209.
It's not good. It's funny. It's good. It's good and not good at the same time.
It's schlocky 80s good.
Yeah, Paul Verhoeven using that unapologetically is funny as hell.
It is.
It really looks stupid. Yeah.
I do like stop motion animation.
It's funnier and better. I hate, dude, when I watched that fucking King Kong movie that was directed by Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And it was like a big cartoon with all CGI. Awful.
Okay.
Fucking awful. This is way better than that.
Okay.
Way better. Like, I'd rather watch like a dumb looking, what's his name, Ed
209.
whatever. Yeah. Dude. It was funny at the beginning. It's funny now.
It makes more of an impact knowing that what you're seeing is actually on the screen.
Yeah, sure. I'm 1000% with you.
Although he escapes, RoboCop is assaulted by the police force on OCP's order and badly damaged. Lewis helps RoboCop escape to an abandoned steel mill to repair himself. RoboCop's humanity is starting to come through.
Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them?
He says he can feel them, but he can't remember them.
He knew that they were... He remembers them, yes.
And then he has a conversation with Lewis, and she sort of catches him up on what's been going on since his quote-unquote death.
Yeah, he like tries to like point the gun, and he goes, "Am I on point?" And she kind of like remember how like there's a lot of movies where somebody walks up and like helps a person play pool.
Yeah.
Like behind him.
Yep.
And she does that with his gun, and he goes, "Please sit on my face."
Jones frees Boddicker and his remaining gang, arming them with high-powered weaponry to destroy RoboCop.
The biggest guns I've ever seen.
Oh, huge!
Like if you would put down the gun from the bottom of the gun to the top of the gun, it's like taller than most people.
Yeah, and Clarence destroys one of the goons' new cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a dick.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was probably a car that was built in Detroit.
The 6000 SUX. Get it?
Subtle.
And then they just start destroying the town in general.
Yep, that's it. They start going crazy on that shit.
At the steel mill, Boddicker's men are quickly eliminated.
It's a weird thing, and the whole toxic waste thing with the not flea getting he turns into, I'm gonna bring it back, Rocky Dennis.
Lewis is badly injured, and RoboCop becomes trapped under steel girders.
They like, he drops a whole like fucking ton of steel on him, right?
He does.
Yeah, it's like almost like the people on the stairs. I got him, 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 I got him.
He was very excited that he got him, and he wanted Clarence to be as excited as he was.
He wanted it. Didn't happen.
He kills Boddicker by stabbing him in the throat with his data spike.
That's what I call my dick.
RoboCop confronts Jones at OCP Tower during a board meeting, revealing the truth behind Morton's murder.
I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake.
Now we're getting down to the brass tacks.
Jones takes the old man hostage, but is promptly fired from OCP.
Dick, you're fired!
Thank you.
Which nullifies Directive 4 and allows RoboCop to shoot him. And this sends him crashing through a window with long as fuck arms to his death.
Yeah, it's almost like a Freddy Krueger arms, you know.
It was weird.
Yeah, it's not great. It's funny. I love it.
The old man compliments RoboCop's shooting and asks him his name. RoboCop replies,
Murphy.
and that, Wes, is where the movie ends.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, Wes, how would you rate RoboCop?
Yeah, dude, come on. This is a fucking... I don't know. I expected this to be a C because I knew it was like a good 80s movie because it was popular, famous. There's a lot of kills. There's a lot of violence. There's stuff. I like Paul Verhoeven because Elizabeth Berkley became naked in a movie when I was a child because of him. This is great, man. I really appreciate you bringing this up. The last 2 or 3 movies that we did, I brought up to you. I'm glad that I left it up to you on this one because this is better. This is better than any of those movies. And I think this is for an 80s schlocky action movie. And I'm not a big fan of like Arnold or Sylvester or whatever. I'm not really into those movies. This is an A, man. This is an A. It's great. And I really appreciate the fact that you thought this would be good. And you were spot on, my friend. You were spot the fuck on. So thank you. And let me guess. How say you, Shawn?
This movie, it's still, from the time I was a kid, too young to watch this till now, this is an A++. I love this movie from beginning to end. It's cheesy, it's schlocky, it's pure 80s, it's over-the-top violent, the story is great, the actors are great. Yeah, no, this movie is top-notch. Again, like I said at the beginning, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I can't praise it enough. It's just such a good movie.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is this... We mostly do horror movies. In your opinion, is this a horror movie?
No.
Okay. Some people do say that it's borderline. So that's why I ask you.
This is a movie that I have seen a million times and will probably see a million more. Great movie.
Thank you, Shawn. It's great. And you say that you've seen it a million times and you will see it a million times more. I've seen it one time and I will see it probably a million times more.
On the next bizarre show.